Hey, welcome to Games with Trev. I'm Monique, and this is Trev.
This week, we're going to start a new series where we're going to come up with a board game. And we're going to go through the whole process of ideas to testing it, to building it, to making a final design. And we want you guys to join along with us. And the best part about this is we get to use your comments for references and make it better. And so this is going to be a fun journey, and we're excited to have you guys with us.
Trev and I have been wanting to make a game for a long time, so we decided to finally just sit down and hash it out. We thought of a couple ideas just so we could have something to work with at the beginning of this video. So we're just going to be going through that and really deciding kind of what mechanisms we want in the game and just how it works, like a rough draft. We're not going to theme it or do any of that pretty stuff right now.
One of the ideas that we started thinking about actually came to us when we were just laying in bed at 11 p.m. I was sitting there and I started thinking, you know what, this might be a good idea. And we were thinking about doing a dice drafting game. And that means you roll dice and you basically go back and forth between the players of picking dice and basically having whatever you've rolled is what you get. And so the idea is that you'll have here, I'll use this. We have my iPad here to help us do a little bit of drawing. So I'm going to start the recording so you guys can see it. But we were thinking about having a player board, something very simple for right now, obviously. But you could have basically different resources, like we were talking about, I don't know.
Like wood,
or clay, or sheep, or wool. Doesn't matter right now. It literally doesn't matter. And you could basically have a spot on the board where you could place the dice that you get. And that's how much of that resource you get for the turn. And basically, I started thinking about what if you only had enough dice where you're not going to fill every resource every turn.
True.
So that you could you still miss a resource, so you're basically burdened by that part, and you have to decide which resources you want. I started thinking about, and then we also started thinking about how if maybe you could upgrade it during the middle of the game, or you could have an add-on to the board for brick per se, and then you add another dice to the dice pool, so you'll still be one dice behind, or maybe we just don't add another dice and it's more of a burden to have it.
Mm-hmm.
And you could have more resources you could add on. And the goal is maybe having a map where you have all the little hexes, because the hexagon's the bestagon. And you basically, it's almost like a city builder, and you're going to try to build out your city and stuff like that. And we were kind of started talking about if you got a certain amount of certain type of buildings, then you could receive the next resource, like a brickery, and that kind of idea of you have to use these to build the next resource that you can get.
Mm-hmm. And slowly build a machine that works for you, so you're not burdened by that one less die.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Something else we always talked about is Monique likes hidden objectives.
Yeah.
So you can talk about that.
I was thinking of doing a secret objective, you have to build in a certain configuration, or you should use this many resources in your building.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I think that's a good way of earning points in a way that no one else can, and it really just varies on which card you get, which I like those types of games that have that aspect a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'd be fun to add that to this idea.
That could be cool. Something else I was thinking about just barely today that we haven't talked about is I was thinking, what if we got dice that are only labeled 1 through 3?
Mm-hmm.
But then you could also get an upgraded dice, but it goes into the pool of dice. And so you don't necessarily would get it, but you're benefiting everyone, but it's a potential of benefiting yourself.
We could even do, I liked it in Root, the Hirelings, where it's there's 3 little diamonds on one side of the die, but if you're in first place, you only get like gold colored ones, and there's only like two of them instead. So like maybe adding that to it, like for the person who has the most points or is ahead. If we go that route, like make it more difficult that way.
That's a good idea. The other thing I started thinking about is if you can build a building off of like 2 and 3s, because that's what you'd have to be able to do, which is kind of low, I feel like. So I was wondering if also we should maybe make like little resource counters, and like the die, you can just apply it to that resource, so then you can like slowly build up a bank.
Oh, so like you wouldn't be able to buy it until like you had like 6, but you had to roll for 2 turns.
Yeah, but it took you a couple turns. And the other thing I was thinking about is like maybe having like an event deck that happens, so it's working against you.
Oh,
so
I see
like,
what you're saying.
Like an earthquake, so like you lose like this many buildings, or like you pulled a card and it was like a wolf came and so you scattered half your sheep, and so everyone has to lose half their sheep resource, and so it makes it like a challenge that way. So I'll add a little sheet here. So event deck, maybe custom dice, right?
Yeah, put numbered dice. Because, like, you could put, like, stone on one side, you know? But I think that would be better.
Yeah, I think doing numbers anyway is better.
It just puts less symbols that you have to learn, because we just learned a new game, and there's so many symbols.
Oh, we learned Ordos, and it was like 100 symbols you had to keep track of, and which is good because it's less words you have to be reading, but it's just like
at the very beginning, it's just really difficult to learn. And like we've been talking about a lot is like the games that are less complex, like not that we find more enjoyment in them, it's just like the simplest mechanisms can make such a great game.
Yeah, like we're playing Seven Wonders Duel, video coming out soon, and you know it's not that complex, but it's a dice drafter, but if you want to be complex and think about it, it can be.
Yeah, true.
And so like that was cool.
And it's like an enjoyable game. It's not that the mechanism is so simple that it's like Candyland, not that it's just like I like the simplicity of being able to, what's the word? Strategize.
Yeah.
At an earlier stage, and I think for like the people we play with, like it's just easier to teach people a game where they can, which I think would be cool to with our game, is have it be able something that we can just pull out.
That's true. That's a good idea. So maybe on like on the player board we have like a little section here that lets you that says like, oh, like to build the brickery, right? You
like
have to have like a key. You have to have like this shape and then this shape and then that shape or something like that. You know what I mean?
I like that.
So then it's easy to see and read, but it's right there.
So instead of like, but I like that idea of like having a shape versus like a number of
saying like you need to have 3 blues in this certain line, but like just showing it.
Yeah.
So it's like straight up super easy.
I really like that.
I'm gonna add on here resource pool. Kind of what we talked about before.
What does that mean?
Like, so like if you rolled like a 6, you have like your little counter here.
Oh, got it.
And you can put like the 6th spot. You know what I'm talking about?
So I'm thinking like everyone's gonna have their own board, or is it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because then everyone else can allocate how they want to.
That's true.
What if? Just thinking. What if they were like common resources?
And then personal resources based on your like character, or on like.
That might just be on the too complicated side.
Yeah. It could be. It is a good idea, though.
Put it on here. Common.
And if you guys like any like specific idea we have, you think it sounds cool, you'd like to play that type of game, like let us know, and vice versa. If something sounds dumb, like
just say
if
something.
it belongs in the stupid
Please.
tier.
Also, if we're just describing a game that already exists, let us know so we can just stop and restart.
True.
Because that would be so awkward. I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything else. Because really, at this point, we need to kind of start
Seeing how it works. Maybe we can like think about like what resources we want to do, just so we have a set number of like, okay, there's gonna be these 6 resources and this is what they're gonna be, because it doesn't necessarily matter what they are, but maybe we should just give them a name.
Yeah.
If we're going
I
with this
think
idea.
wood, I would call it wool and not sheep.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? I think clay is fine.
I like clay. Because maybe you're not necessarily building buildings either. It's like, it could be...
A well, or...
Yeah.
Yeah, what if we had like a little... buildings. I think farms.
Mm-hmm.
I think a well is actually probably good.
I like that
If you
idea.
put wells next to farms and like you could get like a resource per turn or something like that. Because it's like
Mhm.
producing... Oh, what about food for a resource?
We do like, you were saying fish the other day?
Yeah,
I like
fish.
that one.
Or what if we did like, there's like a pool in the middle, and this is the fish. And if you have your thing that's
Oh.
touching it, then you can receive that resource.
So then you can build a house or something.
Yeah, so what
like
if we changed it so it was, well no, because at that point it's just Catan, never mind.
that?
I was like, wait a minute, I think I figured it out.
Funny.
And then you could put a dice here.
That's a good idea.
And only one person could put a dice there per game,
Per round.
per round. But then you only get that much, that
yeah.
turn.
Yeah.
So what other wood,
Resources.
clay, wool?
What else do people need? Water?
I was gonna say water or stone or
Yeah, maybe like stone or like steel or something like FD? Maybe stone.
maybe stone.
But that's kind of like brick. You know.
Or we can also just change brick. Okay, what if we did clay and then you could do like the second resource
Would be
could be like, yeah, brick, which, and then you could have it so that like you had to like make it so they transfer.
so take an additional turn
Yeah.
or something. That's a good idea, actually. I like that.
I'm trying to think what else this one could be. Maybe it's only 3. I don't know. Leave a comment down below if you know what we should do here. Okay, other buildings. House, farms, wells, brickery.
Yeah.
Because you could build one, that's how you get the tile.
Oh,
be able to have it.
yeah.
To be even, see, that's what our idea was. To even be able to use, to get brick, you have to
It's like
like,
a separate tile. You
it's a
add to the
separate tile.
board. That's a good idea.
And then bricks maybe is the only way you can get like schools. Or,
Maybe well could lead to like a sewer or something.
yeah,
Like innovation.
how you spell sewer?
SEW.
Oh my goodness. I just spelling on live. Right?
Bank
No, you can up
to like a mansion or orphanage.
Yeah, maybe banks.
They could give you like an extra point if you go to the bank.
Yeah, if you had put resource in the bank or something like that.
Yeah.
So then you might lose. Oh, maybe the last resource should just be money.
Yeah.
Or is this too much like terraforming Mars?
I don't know.
You know, I guess the way you get it is different because you roll dice. So this doesn't matter.
No, yeah, because you're
If it's
getting...
too close, let us know.
Because there's a lot of games that, like, you gain resources, right? Like, that's
Yeah,
like
this is just a way to track it.
standard,
Yeah, like with Fort, like you get resources, same idea, you know?
Yeah, I feel like every game you're going to get a resource a different way. Whether it's a card, it just happens on your turn, or you're rolling dice. Like, it's just going to happen.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, let's think here. Any other buildings we can think about? What other buildings are missing?
Store? May Farm turns into store?
What about like a city hall?
Mm-hmm.
And you can get like 5 points if it's in like in the middle of your whole thing.
Oh, that's a good idea.
But you can't build city hall until you have like fish and brick and
All the other stuff.
and so you have to just like leave a space and then if you know what I mean.
Yeah, true.
I don't know, I think that's pretty.
That's pretty
We just need to
good,
like start.
rough draft.
Mhm.
I think just, yeah, I think that's good.
We just need to start
Thinking more,
putting it out on a board and
trying stuff out.
trying some stuff out, and we'll film it a little bit and let you guys know, and we'll keep you updated. Thank you guys for sitting through our thought process phase. Again, if you have any suggestions, comments, please, we beg of you, put them down below.
We'll take anything.
Yeah.
But thanks you guys for watching. Remember to subscribe as we're doing a giveaway at 1,000 followers. So make sure to do that, and we can't wait to see you next time.